Just like you, we've been experiencing sticker shock on everything from cars to appliances to groceries.
Yes, we have, and we know much of this is due to inflation, right? But how much does that increase what we're paying, and how long will these increases last?
Well, that's what we sent the I-Team to find out. Investigator and anchor Caitlin Canute has more.
To better understand how inflation is affecting us on a local level, 6 weeks ago, we started monitoring these basic items that perhaps you put in your grocery cart at the local grocery stores here in the metro. Every week, we've gone to these 5 locations across the metro to track prices. Not so much as a price comparison, since the brands and sizes can vary from store to store. Instead, we were searching for patterns, and we found a couple. Out of all 5 stores, the prices at Aldi and Walmart you see over here on the side stayed the most consistent. However, experts say just because prices aren't changing now doesn't mean they won't down the road. We'll have more on that in a minute. But first, of all of the items we tracked, we saw the greatest price fluctuations in cereal. So if we take the data for cereal from all of our locations and put it on this graph here, you can see, especially here at the top, it really changed from week to week. When we took that data to an economics professor at UMKC, he said he wasn't entirely surprised.
So labor costs, shipping costs, their transportation, the cost of packaging, right? At some point, during the last 2 years of this pandemic, they've got to stop and say, okay, wait a minute, everything's costing us more. That needs to show up on the price for that box of cereal.
As for how much the price changed, here's a look at a couple examples. At Price Chopper, cereal is $1.30 more expensive compared to when we first started tracking prices. At Hy-Vee, the price went up by $1.96. However, we should note these prices are subject to sales, and some of the lower costs could correspond to weekly specials. One thing that really surprised us, though, we didn't see a huge change in the price of ground beef. However, our expert Larry Wigger says that could change, especially as it gets warmer out and people start grilling out and eating more meat.
You've got to look at the seasonal impacts. So some things, we consume in much greater quantities at certain times of the year. So I don't know historically, seasonally, beef consumption in the winter. I would assume, we grill out more, we go out to restaurants more in the warmer times of the year. So not as much demand for it right now.
And Professor Wigger says it's not just meat that could increase more. He warned sometimes it takes more time for companies to internalize the costs of inflation and then start to pass those costs on to consumers, meaning we could see these lines from local graphs ticking up more as time goes on. For the I-Team, Caitlin Canute, KSHB 41 News.
KSHB 41 will continue to track inflation at local stores. You can see these trackers on our website, kshb.com. That's also where you can check out previous segments where we explained what's causing an uptick in inflation.